Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to War Stories here on the Full Instance channel. My name is Jericho, and this is War Story number 100. We have had 100 War Stories. There were two specials. It's only an official numbered War Story if it takes place on Tuesday and Thursday. I did two special episodes, one for Pokemon and one for Harry Potter. So this is War Story number 100. We are not playing Battlefront today because this is also my birthday, so I'm going to do what I want to do. And what I want to do is goof around on Arkham City challenge maps and talk about my very favorite television show of all time, Batman the Animated Series. We mentioned in our last War Story number 99 Souls, that the original Avatar, the Last Airbender, was my second favorite, and Batman the Animated Series is my favorite. That's why I'm using the skin, you see, so we're themed. This is unscripted, and I'm talking, which usually does not mean make for the best content on my channel. Like, I sometimes get distracted more when I'm trying to do stuff off the top of the dome, and I don't have any sort of script. But we're gonna do our best. Batman the Animated Series is the best animated show ever made. It has the very best Batman in Kevin Conroy. It has the very best Joker in Mark Hamill. It revolutionized what animated TV can do. I maintain, of course, The Simpsons had just as much to do with it, but I maintain that there would not be a Family Guy without Batman the Animated Series. Batman the Animated Series helped people realize what animation could do. It had a unique art style. So a lot of people don't know this. They call the art style of Batman the Animated Series Dark Deco because it's Art Deco, but of course it painted a very dark, grim portrayal of Gotham that has continued on to most of the franchise media ever since. What made it so different is the animators started with black paper instead of white paper, and that alone is enough to just give this show a completely different feel. Batman the Animated Series gave us a lot of new things that have become endemic to the character, like Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and all-around awesome person, was the first one to ever change his voice from Batman to Bruce Wayne. So Christian Bale's crazy Batman grunt, that's all from Kevin Conroy, showing that it was a cool idea if executed better. It showed us that Mr. Freeze could be an awesome character. So Mr. Freeze actually returned to prominence thanks to the Adam West 1966 Batman, but that still did not have the tragic Nora backstory that the famous episode Heart of Ice gave to the character. That all came from Batman the Animated Series. Batman the Animated Series was the first show that ever had Harley Quinn, or the first anything that ever had Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn did not exist in the comics until afterwards. Renee Montoya, who has appeared in all sorts of different Batman-related franchises, also got her start in the animated series, as did the supervillain Lockout. Batman, the Animated Series. I'm gonna see how many times I can say it in the single episode. It was important to me as a kid, so I was growing up as the show was coming out. So when I would get home from school just in time to watch it on WB. That was the only show I would watch on WW on not WWB on the WB network. I was a Nickelodeon kid, always was. But WB was the home of Batman the Animated Series, so every single day I would come home from school excited to watch Batman the Animated Series. That was some of the first things I was really into collecting as a kid, Batman figures and merchandise. Like, of course, I actually never saw a Batman movie in the theaters until Batman Begins. Because I was still young. The original Tim Burton Batman came out in '89, the same year that I did. So I say that, I always think it's clever, but like came out gives it like a really unnecessary connotation. I guess it was born the same year that I was. Sounds a little bit better. But anyway, so I was too young to see that, and then Batman Returns, featuring Danny DeVito as weird sex pervert Penguin, had a big backlash from parents, so I didn't see that in theaters. And then finally Batman Begins was when I was a little older and able. I think that just then screwed up me getting all 3 stars, unless I get some good bonuses here. Maybe I will. Nope. 30 points off. Oh well. So this show is why I'm a fan of Batman to this day. It's why I have Batman stuff on my channel all the time. It's why, looking to my right, I have an entire shelf full of Batman merchandise. That's one thing I want to do soon. Since we're at 50 subscribers, I want to do like a little tour of my space. But it's not quite done. We moved relatively recently, so it still is a work in progress in a lot of ways. But Batman is central to my life, and it's because of Batman the Animated Series. I have the entire show on DVD, watched every episode more times than I can count. Especially the first 2 seasons are really where it's at its best. Later on, they want to increase, it even changes names to Batman and Friends. It has a slight character redesign for some of the characters, like Scarecrow actually looks different in every appearance. That's a little factoid, but he's way different in Batman and Friends. That's when they started to have Justice League guys show up, and even as a kid, I never liked Superman. I mean, like, I didn't dislike him per se, but he's the Yankees of superhero, or of the Patriots, I guess, to use a more modern, applicable example. He always wins. He's too good. There's nothing to be gained from a hero that always wins. Batman was always the guy for me. So whenever they would include Justice League guys, I never really appreciated it as much as some fans might have, just because I'm here for Batman. And I always liked Robin, but I was never the biggest fan of Batgirl. So when the show sort of lost its focus, it got less awesome. But still, as always, incredible. I know I'm kind of rambling. This is not, like I said, this is just off the top of the head. It's just what I wanted to do. Like I said, War Story number 100, my birthday, I just wanted to talk about my favorite show. The animated series had so many special episodes. So of course I already mentioned Heart of Ice, which defined the character of Mr. Freeze to this day. It also had the classic Almost Got Him, my personal favorite. It's several of the Rogues Gallery of Villains sitting around a table playing cards and talking about the time they got the closest to taking out Batman. And Batman is actually in disguise as Killer Croc the entire time. And it's a funny episode. It's cool. It even has a poignant ending where Catwoman tries to kiss him at the end when she helps him out. And when he, of course, does the Batman thing and leaves, she too is forced to just say, almost got him. That's a favorite of mine. I think it's called In Darkest Dreams. It's an episode where Batman has been mind-controlled by the Mad Hatter. We actually don't know this throughout the context of the episode. But it's a world where he never had to become Batman. He still knows his parents, everything else. And that's the episode that gave us the classic I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman line, which I should hope needs no introduction. One of the defining pivotal scenes of Batman as a character, in my opinion. Sorry. Yay, there's 3 stars. It has great episodes with Scarecrow, great episodes with the Riddler. Riddler is actually underserved. That's, if I had to make a criticism of the show, Riddler has long been one of my very favorite Batman villains. I think it's sort of, I appreciate how he plays second fiddle to Joker so often, because I like rooting for the underdog. It's sort of like the Superman principle, where Joker is everybody's favorite Batman villain. So I like the ones that have a little bit more nuance to their character at times. Well, that's not fair to say, but I like the ones that aren't so often in the spotlight, to be clear. But his episodes are cool. That one's called If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich? It's about him designing a video game. It's because, of course, video games had to be in everything in the 90s. Gosh, I'm just trying to remember. So many characters are they're at their best. It's my favorite version of Two-Face. Two-Face has an awesome 2-episode arc. We see Robin dealing with Tony Zuko, his parents' murder, in his own 2-part arc. I think it's called Robin's... It might just be called Robin's Revenge. It's something like that. Robin's Folly or Robin's something. Catwoman is awesome in this show. I love the character designs. I don't like the Batmobile. I will say that. That's the one, that's probably my least favorite Batmobile design they've ever had. I originally disliked the Tumbler more, but I've grown to be much kinder to the Tumbler in my, I don't know, in my wiser mind.
You're all going down.
It's why I love Batman. One of my very favorite things for my entire life. It's why I'm a Batman villain for Halloween every year, often based heavily on their interpretations in the animated series. And that's one thing that I feel that these games do the best, is a very artful and ingenious combination of the world of the animated series and the world of the very popular Dark Knight trilogy, which will get their own episodes later on. I want to talk about everything Batman. I've talked about the 66 Batman movie, talked a little about the 66 Batman show. That's something I need to revisit as well. But the very greatest of it all, the best Batman has ever been, is Batman the Animated Series. And like I say, this game series, the Arkham series, is one of my very favorites. After Pokemon and Smash, it is my favorite. So third of all time, every possible video game series. And one of the reasons why it's so great is all the cues it takes from the animated series. It has Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. It has Tara Strong, who was not Harley in the show, but did other voices, and you know, she obviously takes a lot of cues from the character. Like, even look at something as diverse as Suicide Squad. Whoops. And the best moment of that entire movie is when it shows Harley in her original outfit, just for the fans that love it and appreciate what that means to the character. Harley came to the comics because of Batman the Animated Series. So did Renee Montoya. So does Lockout. It defined Mr. Freeze. I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm preaching to the choir at a lot of this about how the themes, like how it could be violent without being brutal, could be sexualized without being sexual, could be scary without being horrifying, how it could do all these things and teach children all these things through the lens of Batman and through the lens of an animated show, but still bring something to the table that no show before or since has ever quite done. In my opinion, Batman the Animated Series will never be equal. There have been other great Batman shows. I really like Batman Beyond. The Batman, I think, made a lot of cool choices. The short-lived Batman, Beware the Batman, I thought deserved better than it got, but nothing compares to Batman the Animated Series, my favorite television show of all time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for 100 war stories. I know this has been kind of all over the place, and it wasn't exactly what I had in mind, but I enjoyed talking about my favorite show with my favorite people on my favorite YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss more war stories on every Tuesday and Thursday. And here's to another 100. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. I don't know about you, but I'm full.